Hi, my name is Chelsea, and welcome to Collective Self, an intentional community where you are always welcome. I am so happy to see you today. Today, I wanted to talk to you about a manifestation success story I had with really just manifesting abundance and changing my money mindset. But before I get into that and give you your little seed of faith for the day, I would like to give you the affirmation of the day. And the affirmation of the day is, I refuse to feel guilty or ashamed for things that make me feel good. I refuse to feel guilty or ashamed for things that make me feel good. I hope that resonates with you. And let's get into our manifestation success story. So, I have been working on my money mindset for a long time. I've read lots of books about it. But there has been an underlying discomfort. And only up until the past 2 weeks have I really been able to address that discomfort and that fear, right? That fear, that lack mentality. And I've been able to do that with a lot of things the past few weeks because I've become extremely aware of how my discomfort sort of gets lodged in as a personality trait as opposed to something that is just happening in passing that's allowing me to identify who I am. So what happens a lot of the time when we're creating resistance around things like money, love, things like that is that we've had a feeling and or a thought, right, that turned into a belief. So we had an experience which triggered a feeling or a thought that transferred into a belief. And instead of turning towards that fear, right, and that belief, which most likely will be fear-based, what we end up doing is turning away from it because we're so uncomfortable with dealing with it. But what ends up happening is that because we're like avoiding, ignoring, that thing becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. But because we are the light, our awareness is the light of consciousness. When we sort of turn that internal viewfinder towards the fear, the doubt, the anxiety, the discomfort in whatever area, what usually happens 9 times out of 10 is that thing will dissipate. Like you turn and not even looking at it to jump into it to feel it from a place of identification, but almost like you're lingering over it and knowing that your identity is separate from this experience that you're having, right? And so you're looking at it and you're breathing into your higher self and you're holding yourself from the space of awareness and observation. And because you're holding yourself from a space of awareness and observation, you are able to transcend the experience and no longer identify with it. And what ends up happening is that whatever feelings that are negative, whatever are associated with it, will start to dissolve, right? So I started doing this with money, right? And to me, this meant having ultimate faith. So just moving with the intention that I am always going to be taken care of. I'm just going to simply pay my bills, look at my accounts, track my spending, and if I need to buy something, I'll buy it. That's all, right? And what this got me in the habit of doing is getting more comfortable and noticing what discomfort comes up when I'm looking at my money. Like even now, right? Because it's something I'm still working on, but know that that fear is still not part of me. I can feel that fear right now and acknowledge it and say like, okay, I'm feeling that discomfort of like, the fear is this. What if I don't have enough? But in reality, there's never going to be a time when we're not taken care of and never going to have enough, right? That is a mentality that leads to more lack. And what you have when you have lack is an abundance of lack, right? So abundance exists in all forms, right? But we need to be aware of how we feel when we are given a lot. We need to be aware of how we feel about the things that we already do have, right? So if I feel overwhelmed with abundance, right? So for example, I've been growing my community. And now on a weekly basis, my phone went from having nobody calling, texting my phone, anything, to because I've been trying very hard, or not even trying very hard, right? I've been extremely intentional of planting seeds with the people who I love on a consistent basis and growing new relationships to the point where now at least 2-3 times a week, I'm getting a phone call or a text message to either check in during that week or to check in the following week, right? And that's not something that I had before. And I found myself slipping into an old pattern right? Slipping into this old narrative of like, oh, no, I don't want anybody to bother me. I don't want to be bothered. I don't feel like texting. This is too much. I'm overwhelmed. But I asked for community. I asked for a tribe. I asked for support. I asked for friendships. So if I'm being offered my friendships, right, how I'm viewing the friendships is going to determine how those friendships continue and the role that those friendships are going to play in my life, like on a long-term basis. So I could have reverted back to my old self and waited weeks to respond or never responded at all. But that would have left me in the same situation in which I am craving and desiring friendship and tribe, but not able to sustain friendship and tribe when it is given to me, right? So it's all about maintaining the kingdom, maintaining the things that you are given already. How are you doing when things are presented to you? How are you reacting? How are you responding? Who are you being? Right? So instead of saying, oh my God, no, this is too much. I can't handle this. I'm overwhelmed by the love that I'm receiving, even though it's this love I asked for. I took a step back. I said, okay, during this 30-minute period of time, I'm going to take my time to respond to all these messages, to get my appointments in place, and to make sure that I'm responding to everybody and making sure that they know that I cherish them, care about how they're doing, and that it's important for us to maintain our relationship moving forward. So how do we do that? We schedule a call to check in. Or if we're both busy during the time, or if one of us is busy during the time, then we say, okay, I can't really schedule a call to check in right now. And then you check in the next week or 2 weeks later and see if they have time then. But what I found is that it really is about how you're responding to things. You cannot ask for abundance. Yet when you're given abundance, you're almost running around like a chicken with its head cut off, saying, this is too much, I can't handle this, this is overwhelming, I don't want to deal with this. Because if you don't want to deal with it, you will not be given more of it. The same goes with the money that you have right now. Literally. Think about it. You have money in your account, right? Let's say you don't have money in your account, but you're always thinking about how much money you don't have. When money comes in, you're thinking about not that you're grateful that you got that money, but that you're worried that you're not going to get more money next. Or you're considering this as your last little installment of money, therefore you have to spend it on whatever you want right now, and then your bills go neglected. No. We're changing that. What you need is priority, right? So you will always be taken care of. But you have to believe that you'll be taken care of, and you also have to take care of yourself. It can't be that you're saying that you're not going to be taken care of, and you believe you're not going to be taken care of, and then when the universe is showing you, I'm not taking care of you, and you're not taking care of you, that you expect something different. No, you take care of yourself as best you can, because that energy is going to translate back into the universe, because there is one universe. You are the universe. The universe, one single version, okay? The universe, it's you. How well you take care of yourself is how well the universe is going to treat you. How well you love yourself is how well the universe is going to love you. How much you think you deserve is how much you will be given. Period. That's how the universe works. Whatever is happening inside is what will project outside. So if you don't feel like you deserve it, you are not going to receive it. If you don't feel like you deserve to be receiving anything, let's say that you don't get the money right away, but you are offered free food or some type of resource that will help you. But your pride says, oh, there's other people who need this. Oh, I don't deserve this. Maybe I won't take this assistance that I'm being given that I need. Why in the world would the universe offer you money if you just denied the food that was given to you on your plate? Why would the universe offer you anything if when you are offered something, you are denying it and saying that you don't deserve it? If you feel like you don't deserve it, the universe says, shit, I've got millions of people who think they do. I'll give it to them gladly. And I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that. I'm just trying to say that what happens inside is what will happen outside. And so you really need to get comfortable with sitting in your own discomfort to figure out What fears are popping up for you? Dissolve those fears, right? And dissolving the fear is as simple as looking at that fear and saying, actually, that's not true. Like, I had to really sit back and turn inwardly and look at my life, right? And not everybody can do this, because there may have been times when somebody has not been taken care of. But for me personally, right? I had to look, right? Because I still had the fear, regardless of what was true or not. Whatever we believe is true is true. So even though the fear is not real, if it is perceived as real, it will persist as real in our reality, right? So in reality, I've never not been taken care of. I have never gone without, and I never will go without. Period. And I can say that with confidence, right? But I could not say that to you maybe 2-3 weeks ago when I was feeling that stress and that anxiety that's still coming up in my body, right? But that I'm not identifying with now. So I've been learning how to drive, right? My mom originally said that she could help me with the driving lessons, but I've needed to take more lessons than I originally thought. And that's fine, because I want to be confident in my skills as a driver before I get on the road with other drivers to be as safe as possible, right? So the money that I had for my driving lesson, I used up. Excuse me. The money that I had for my driving lessons, I used up. And I needed some more money. And I messaged her. I said, Mom, hey girl, can you help me with a little bit more money for my driving lesson? She said, oh, I don't have it. And I said, okay, no problem. And it wasn't a problem. I appreciated the help she gave me. And I was confident knowing that I was going to receive that money. Excuse me 1 second. Right. So like I was saying, she said that she couldn't help me with the money, and I said, you know what? Okay, no problem. Not worried about it. I also took a small loan for her, $500, nothing crazy, for my Etsy shop, beginning of last year, to increase my performance, to be able to add more things, to buy assets that I needed to really make it look professional. And I was like, okay, well, I do have the money. I've been very clear about making sure that I am the person who is responsible for paying back the things that I owe. So I wanted to make sure that I was paying her back on time, right? Because I am a reliable person who people can depend on to follow through on my word, period. So she said no, she couldn't do it. I said, okay, no problem. I sent her the second installment of the loan. I was paying her back like $50 at a time. And she said, hey, what is this money for? And I said, oh, I'm just paying you back. I owed you this money And she was like, oh, thank you. Thank you for paying it back. And then she said, but you know what? Why don't you take the money that you would have been paying me over these next few months and put that towards your driving lessons, right? So that was one way that I received extra money, right? Now this debt is forgiven. Right, so not only do I not have to worry about this, but I have money to go towards this driving lesson, right? And I was planning driving lessons, not even knowing where I was going to get the money from. And I did this again this week. But I've been really deeply diving into my faith, deeply diving into my awareness of myself as source, and just really digging deep into my discomfort to find myself and to find myself out of it, see myself through it, so that I can come out of this as a different, better, more self-actualized version of myself. So I have been making sure I check my accounts every single day. I've been making sure that whatever minimum payments I need to pay are paid. All my bills are paid. If my account gets overdrafted, which it has, I just make sure I put the money back in. And those little things, they do cause like stress. They cause me to have like this little knot in my stomach. Like, oh, I don't know where I'm. The thought is, the feeling is, the belief, or not the belief, but the experience I was having before this was, I don't know where I'm going to get this money from. Excuse me. I don't know where I'm going to get this money from. And, that's it. But no, right now, we're past that. We're past that self-doubt. We're past the doubt that I'm not going to be taken care of. And for rightfully so, because what ended up happening is that because I was taking inspired action, I was calling my mom to do a homework assignment that I have for a course that I'm doing. A course that I was like, I don't know, for some reason I sign up for these courses sometimes, and then I'm like, I don't want to do them. It's just very hard for me to get into my focus mode. So it takes me a little while to switch my brain into, okay, we're in learning mode. We're sitting in our masculine energy. We need to do this, and we need to just be here and focus and get her done. So I had shifted into that mode because I had this class that I was taking, and I was like, I don't really want to do it, but you know what? This is something I want to do for bigger reasons than what is happening right now. Therefore, I will get it done. I will enjoy it. It will be great. So I'm doing the class. I had to call my mom because I needed to do customer discovery. And that just means that you're asking questions to make sure your business idea is a viable business for the people who you are trying to serve. So I called her, blah, 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 talking. I got my information. Very helpful call. And then my dad pops up. He's like, hey, Trella, how you doing? I'm like, hey, Dad, I miss you. First of all, number one, I had been wanting to call my dad anyway, right? I had been wanting to call him and had kept slipping my mind because by the time that, like, during the day I thought to call him and think to, like, hang out with him, spend time with him, my brain was already too tired, and I don't like talking on the phone too late at night. So I had not got around to it. So that phone call not only knocked out that desire to talk to my dad on the phone and just connect with him in that way, but then he's asking me, oh, do you have this sort of a online account, which is a banking account that is the same bank as his, so that he can transfer money to me? And I'm like, oh yeah, no, I do have one. We're going through, and he's trying to like add me to his account so he can send me some coins. But my dad has never been the type to like really send money too much or like be too like giving. Like he will take care of you, and he's a great guy, and I appreciate my father for all that he does. But giving out money freely is not something that he normally does. So I was like, just sort of taking it with a grain of salt, just saying maybe he'll send me something now, maybe he'll send me something later, I don't know, but he said that he wants to get this set up, and it does seem like an opportunity for me to perhaps get some coins. So I was being patient, we set it up, and so we set it up, right? And then the verification came through 2 days later, and so I call him, I say, hey Dad, the verification came through. Let's get this account verified. We get the account verified, right? And I have a driving lesson on Friday that I already signed up for. Don't know how I was gonna pay for it and everything. I'm just like, you know what? The money's gonna come through. I don't need to worry about it. The money's gonna come through. It's done, right? So my dad, he decided to go and send me $500. And not only can I pay for my driving lesson, I can pay for my transportation to my road test. I can pay off some other things. And I'm just so grateful that I stuck to my faith and knew that if I needed it, it would come. And not only did this come and I'm feeling grateful for it, enjoyable about it, and like all those things, but it's just like, this is the first of many. There's more to come. There's more money on the way. There's more available to me. Like, I'm always going to be taken care of. And not only am I always going to be taken care of, get this. My dad asked me, how are you doing financially? Right? And you know what I said? I said, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. I got it. Don't worry about it. I'm getting my stuff together now. I'm happy for the experience that I'm having right now, this discomfort, these things, because it's setting me up to be responsible for my money. It's setting me up to be okay with having my own money. It's setting me up for me to really be a good steward of the wealth that I'm about to receive. Right? I didn't say, I could have very easily turned it into a complaining situation and told him all the fears and doubts that I'm having about my money. But that is not who I am. Who I am is somebody who looks discomfort in the face and is able to move through it so that I can emerge as the highest version of myself. And so are you, right? Do not take people asking about your situation as an opportunity to speak about your fears, but to rise to the person who you are, who you are becoming, who you want to be, right? We're not taking any like, you're not lying. It is who you are. They don't need to see it yet. You don't even need to feel it yet, but you need to be strong in your conviction that that is who you are, right? Because we are not always going to feel happy or joyful every single day, all the time. We can. It is possible. But even all the time, nah, not really, right? So don't doubt that if you're feeling down that you are who you want to be. And don't use people asking how you're doing, what's going on, what's going on with you as an excuse to fall back into your old patterns, old beliefs, and old cycles. Use that as a way to rise above whatever conditions you might be seeing around you and say that, yeah, I see these conditions. They're conditions, but I am who I am. And I said what I said, and that is it. Like, allow your faith to move you forward. Do not be afraid to fall, right? There can only be fulfillment. There can only be fulfillment, right? And if you're in the middle of your discomfort, sit through that. Sit with it, right? You might not be feeling that fulfillment now, right? But the fulfillment comes when you are fulfilled. Like, I lost my train of thought, but what I was trying to say is that I watched this guy called Be Something Wonderful, Tom Kieran. He's a great guy. You should check out his channel if you don't watch him. He's very, very clear and concise about how he's presenting his information. It's very good. One of the best manifestation channels. If you haven't seen him. But he always says, there's no conditions to change. Conditions are conditions, but I am. Right? And what does that mean? That simply means that you might be seeing things around you. You might say, oh, this means that this doesn't change, right? If you expect an overnight change, but you haven't changed overnight, how could that be? Simple as that, right? Take your time. If things are not happening in the time that you want them to happen, be patient, because things are moving along exactly as they're supposed to. And if things are not changing fast enough, then you possibly need to change faster. Don't blame anything outside of you for whatever you're experiencing, whatever conditions you think you might be seeing, because you assign a meaning to them all. And when I'm looking out right now, looking at this setup, looking at my camera, what I think this means is that I'm in my desired reality where I'm happily married. I'm a multi-millionaire. I have 1 million subscribers. I have 2 million on TikTok. I don't need to worry about anything. I don't need to work for money. And I am impactful in all the things that I do, say, and teach, right? So really look at your reality as your fulfillment. You are fulfillment already, right? The reality that you have around you is evidence of that fulfillment, as evidence of fulfillment of your state. So embody the state that you want to be in. Persist in the state. Persist in your identity. Know who you are. Things will fall into place. You don't need to want for anything, right? Know that where you are right now, there's something necessary there for you. There is something that is going to fulfill you there. There's something that you are going to enjoy. There's something that you're going to learn from. There's something there to teach you. Please know that. So that you're not looking at your conditions as these are the unwanted conditions these are the unwanted conditions that I always deal with. Instead, you could say, you know what, these are not, there are no unwanted conditions. Because I know that this right here, this is here to lead me to my desired reality. This is here to lead me to my fulfillment. I'm fulfilled already, actually. Thank you for all the things I have around me. I don't need anything. I don't want for anything. How I am right now, I can accept it. I can get down with it. I can enjoy it. I can be fulfilled by it. Simple as that. You choose to be fulfilled, and you choose who you are, and you choose your faith. So have faith that everything that you am, Have faith that everything that you are, everything that you do, and everything that you have is enough to bring you to the fulfillment of your desire. And it is yours. Trust. Have faith. Have faith. Have faith, have faith, have faith, have faith. And find the lesson, find the blessing in every single moment. It is there if you look for it. I promise you. So this has been amazing. If you like this video, leave a like. Please subscribe and click the notification bell to get notified when I update. And join our intentional community on Facebook at CollectiveSELF. And I am so excited. I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye.